Hello, I'm Callum Dilietto, and this is season 4 of the Flock Together podcast in partnership with the DMC Network. We're here today at the Amano Hotel in Covent Garden, and I'm joined by Matt. Hello.
Hello.
I was thinking about the first time we met recently, and it was my first ever time in America, back in 2017 in Las Vegas, and we were sipping from champagne bottles that we'd sourced from a vending machine.
Indeed, and we were given a gold token as a memento and a welcome to the hotel. Rooftop terrace, if I remember, and someone dropped a glass of red wine down my t-shirt.
Who was that?
Oh, I've absolutely no idea, but it was very, very on brand for me, like champagne taste, lemonade budget. It was,
Well, yeah, because it was the Mandarin Oriental back then, and I remember there was just this window that just looked out over the strip, and it was incredible. And then from then, you know, had little gold spouts that fit into the bottles so that you could sip straight from the bottle. It was very bougie, but also very accessible.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So 2017, blimey, 8 years. Well, that was my first IMEX, and I think pretty much every year since I've gone from a bougie taste and then platform dancing at Dre's nightclub afterwards, with or without you. I think I still have some videos of you with some little inflatable gadgets on a little plimp actually out of that Dre's nightclub.
Sounds about right, but we can make sure those videos never see the light of day. We don't need to see them again. They can collect digital dust somewhere in an archive. But no, I do really enjoy Vegas, especially for like IMEX, the whole industry there. It's such a good vibe, just such good energy, and yeah, it's always just a tiny bit messy.
Yeah, I think if I could stick to just the one trip a year, I think unfortunately we do an awful lot of work in Vegas, and clients seem to just obviously it's an event town, isn't it? Everything's just geared up. I think I've been 16 times according to my Trip It app, so I'm getting a little bit over it now. Definitely not one I do shoulder nights for, that's for sure. Yeah. I'm definitely in and out.
The first part of the podcast is remember. So, what was your first ever work trip?
Very typical me to be a rule breaker. If I could have two, please. My first one, I would say, I worked in catering hospitality. That was my sort of break into the industry. I was working at like Silverstone, Manchester United, those kind of things. And I was asked to go and work at and open the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi with the team from Silverstone. They were going over there to open. That was absolutely incredible. Like my first Middle East trip, my first sort of long haul actually. I think I was 18 years old. We had some staffing issues and asked me if I knew people that could go and look after bars and things. So I ended up being able to take my friends, I took my brother.
I thought you were going to say they had staffing issues and they were going to just put you in a car or something, you know?
No, not with my driving skills. I don't think I even had a driving license at that point because I literally was just turned 18 actually.
Wow, that's super young.
But, I was very, very young. But it was absolutely incredible. And seeing like the fire brigade actually drove round the track because it was so hot, like during track testing, tyres were like melting into the ground. It was October 2009. I remember it very, very well.
Quite literally a baptism of fire.
Yeah. And I'm a very, very warm person, so I mean, me going to the Middle East in general wasn't ideal. Although actually my sort of second one is also the Middle East. I worked in hotels for a little while, was looking after the event space at the Park Plaza Westminster Bridge, met many an agency, and that was sort of my agency baptism actually. And WRG asked me, I was in between two roles, I had about 6 weeks gap, and Carl Shaw asked me if I would go over to Doha for the World Petroleum Congress. That was a baptism by fire again. 4,500 people in basically a warehouse working with a caterer who did like donuts at office desks. Someone who nothing had ever been done on that scale. Doha looked very, very different back in 2011 than it looks now. I was literally teaching like 100 staff at a time how I would use my wingspan to separate 6 feet between tables. It was quite something. Attended, by the way, by every head of state, like Tony Blair, Gordon Brown. It was insane.
I love the idea of all these heads of state and you just there with your arms outstretched like, this is 6 foot.
It was on slightly different occasions. But I feel like I'm already name dropping. I didn't bring a dustpan and brush to sweep them up.
I mean, you know.
Wait till I get to Michelle Obama.
And then what was your most recent work trip?
I went to, I ticked off my 6th continent and went to In Voyage in Rio. In Voyage, by the way, other supplier showcases are available. And I went to Mendoza in Argentina for a post-fam, which was also absolutely incredible. I actually sold 3 clients' issues before I left In Voyage, by the way, so a really, really useful trip. And then, nipped over to nipped over, they're so casual.
just popped over to Mendoza. Yeah.
It wasn't really a pop, actually. I had to go via Chile. So actually, on the way there, it was like breakfast in Rio, lunch in Chile, dinner in Argentina.
Okay, now you're just showing off. First the name drops, and now you're just like, oh yeah, I had a different meal in a different country.
Yeah, it was a rough 3 meals that day. It was a burger and a beer. which I don't believe is really the Chilean classic. So.
Do you know what? Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Yeah, no,
You know,
absolutely.
all
No.
you need to know is that you had breakfast, lunch, and dinner in 3 different South American countries.
Yeah, actually the roughest part of the day was the fact that my laptop died, and I obviously didn't have a connector for each of the 3 countries. So I just trying to like blag something in the lounge so I could actually do some work, just to assure my bosses I wasn't there just for a jolly.
Yeah. Oh no, what a shame. My laptop has died and I'm in Argentina. What am I going to do? Oh.
I was coming back actually with a tote bag full of about 9 kilos of luggage because we were gifted a bottle of wine at every vineyard. So
I really didn't know where you're going with that. You said 9 kilos and I was like, okay, South America.
it was wine, I promise.
Yeah.
I'm a big Malbec fan.
If you could relive a destination experience, transport yourself back in time to a moment and a place, where would that be?
I was very, very lucky to go to a fam trip with Donna Sweeney Simmons at the Hyatt Inclusive Collection. We went to 2 Impression by Secrets properties, one Mokshe, just outside Cancun, and then going out to Ina Mujeres. And that was just absolutely incredible. I mean, I actually have a really wanky thick picture of me on a catamaran. It was our own private catamaran going out from Cancun out to Ina Mujeres. Imagine that, my sort of like Jack moment. There I am, just like leaning, foot behind me, hand behind my head. Like that sort of island life, I feel, is very much.
Did you have to have that picture?
I swear to God, it was candid. Someone, it just dropped into our group chat. I didn't request it. I wasn't ready. I hadn't just taken my shoes off, ready for that moment or anything. It was.
You hadn't
just
given your phone to someone and said, "Look, I'm going to be proposing."
The ring light wasn't even there. Yeah. It was all completely casual. But I think island life for a certain number of days anyway. I think like the boutique element of that hotel, 125 rooms. Everything just felt fantastic. Like the little floats. It's very White Lotus as you sort of like keep coming on that catamaran. Beautiful food and beverage. Just the service is incredible. Like I'd say Impression Moksha and Impression Ina Mujeres is incredible. The Moksha Hotel as well, by the way, it's like a resort vibe. So you've got a Secrets 5-star, beautiful resort, lovely restaurants and things, and then you have the Impression part. So you can go over to Secrets, but Secrets can't come to Impression because it's that little tier system. So fantastic brands. Only a couple of them, but I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, no, I like that, and I think like the dual destination element to it as well. So
Hyatt Inclusive Collection haven't paid me, by the way. This is just why I feel. Yeah, I'm going to get a check for Voyage and Hyatt Inclusive Collection. I think
you're just constantly name dropping, whether it's brands or celebrities. You know?
Yeah. You wait.
Yeah. No, that is really cool. And I haven't been south of Texas, so only is South America somewhere I want to tick off, but Mexico as well. And
I'm a massive Mexico fan. Yeah, we'll happily give you numerous different recommendations for sure.
And if you could make any hotel a home, what would it be?
I had a fantastic experience at the Conrad in Tokyo. I'd say the hospitality was incredible, almost to the point actually I think I was bowing so many times to say thank you that I got whiplash. It was, and it's a sky property, so as you come down, oh my God, absolutely incredible. I think it's sort of far enough outside of Shinjuku that you sort of away from the madness, so you can appreciate that 5-star luxury hospitality, but close enough to still get to the karaoke bar.
Priorities. I want to be able to relax, but I also want to sing at 3 in the morning.
Yeah. I want a butler, but I also want to sing Hey Baby. Yeah.
Is that your go-to karaoke?
No, I'm between Hey Baby, DJ Otzi, and maybe a little bit of rock DJ, Robbie Williams.
I can so see. You give Robbie Williams
depending
vibes.
if it's drink 1 or 5.
Yeah. Fair. No, Japan is well, Tokyo specifically. Like I did a trip around the country, and I only kind of gave 3 days to Tokyo, and I regretted it when I realised the size and scale of the city. And all of the different places that I wanted to go, I was like, oh, I want to see the Pokemon Center. Oh, and I want to see Haichi's statue. And oh, I want to do this. And then I was like, wait a second, this is a day trip on all of them.
Yeah.
I have not given myself enough time.
I say unfortunately, I was running an incentive trip, a part of the WRG team, actually, funnily enough, again, for a petroleum company, and the vibrancy and the culture of that city was crazy enough for me. But one of the most rewarding parts of that trip was we had people from Guatemala who were like given this incentive trip to congratulate them, and seeing someone who hadn't got a mobile phone before, let alone a passport, or left their hometown, go from Guatemala to Tokyo was just absolutely one of the most rewarding events I've done ever, actually.
That's really nice. I think it's, these once in a lifetime experiences that that you try to create for your clients. It can sometimes be hard, especially if they're affluent and, maybe they're in the financial services industry and they've got all that money where you're like, oh, we really have to outdo where even their pound can stretch.
Yeah.
But to know that someone from such a background has then been transported to to a completely different experience. That's such a nice
It's
feeling.
definitely one of the, I mean, incentive trips in general, I feel like there are so many companies where you have the same names, you have the same winners every year, but it means so much more to those people that have like hit their quota for the first time, hit a target for the first time. And as much as I love seeing everyone on an incentive, everyone enjoying themselves, seeing how much it means to certain people, I mean, it's what I get out of bed for sure.
Yeah, it goes like this. Dip, dip, da 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 da. Dip, dip, da 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 da. Dip, dip, da 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 da. Dip, dip, da da da. And it goes, yeah, it goes like this. And it goes, yeah, it goes like this. Yeah, around and around it goes. Where it starts, yeah, nobody knows. Pedal to the metal with the kiss. And it goes like this. And it goes. I like this. And it goes. I like this. Around it goes. Where it starts, yeah, nobody knows. Pedal to the metal with the kiss. And it goes like this. And it goes. I like this. And it goes. I like this.
Talking of incentives, if you could create an incentive trip for yourself, where would you go? What would you do? And which celebrity would you take with you?
I think I'd do Bali, because I think I'm a hot country boy. I've never been skiing, never been anywhere cold. So I think it has to be somewhere warm. My ADHD brain needs activity, so I feel like I need a really good blend of some nice, cool, sort of like nice swimming pool vibes, some nice beaches, and some like high octane, getting on the back of a moped, not knowing if you're going to be alive in 2 days' time, or like getting some quad bikes through, like going through the valleys and zip lines and that kind of stuff. A real balance. I think again, to be a rule breaker, I would probably choose 2 people, not necessarily at the same time, and you'll work out why in a second. I would say Princess Diana.
Oh, that's a good one.
So many questions, so many questions, and just I mean, she's very on brand for me, really. Just like the rule breaker, like fantastic taste, and doesn't really care what anyone thinks. I reckon she's a really good joker as well, so I think we'd have a good time together.
I love the idea of like redefining Princess Diana in Bali. You know,
Yeah.
just being like, do you know what? This is the real Princess Di. We're about to have some fun in Bali.
Yeah, I mean, imagine what she was like with the paparazzi. Imagine what photos we'd get. It'd be fantastic.
It's always a photo.
She'd love it. Oh, especially that photo out on the diving board on the boat. I'm obviously wearing matching swimming costumes.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great. My second one, Michael Jackson. Again, so many questions, but I just think from an entertainment perspective, I mean, Chris Brenter, our mutual friend, will love that answer. He would love that. I was thinking about Michael Jackson. I'm a massive Michael Jackson fan when I was a kid. When I bought my first house, actually, I only had like 2 pieces of artwork, both like pop art in my house, Freddie Mercury and Michael Jackson. They're like my 2 sort of like musical icons. So
Yeah.
Michael Jackson for sure.
Michael Jackson would be great, and I'm loving the idea of like him kind of being on a zip wire with you and just being like,
Don't stop till you get enough, right?
oh no, the puns are coming.
They are. I'm thinking so hard right now. I'm going for a whole discography in my head.
I'm not gonna lie, the same thing was happening to me. I was like, Earth Song? I was like, that's lame.
Yeah. He is single now though, because obviously Billie Jean is not his lover.
God.
I'm done. Let's move on.
But I kind of want you to combine, like, I don't want you to do the separate. I want Princess Diana, Michael Jackson, and you to be at a breakfast table at a villa in Bali.
Imagine us sharing a wardrobe. I mean, it would just be, that would be iconic.
I mean, yeah, I can't see it, but I want to see it. Like, I want it more than anything. You know, I can't stop until I get enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All I can think about now. Us getting ready on a night out, bottle of Fanta Lemon, go, bag of Lays, and just
putting on the one glove each. Yeah, that's great. That's possibly one of my favourite incentive trips, just to watch. I just want to like.
Yeah, you'd have to do it as like a Love Island vibe, wouldn't you? There's big cameras everywhere. It needs to be recorded the entire thing. Yeah, B-roll purposes only.
The penultimate part of the podcast is your letter to the industry. So, if you were to address the industry, what would you want to say?
I think taking a little step back for a second and taking stock. I think when I think about even just the places that I've name dropped and talked about being to 6 continents and all this kind of stuff, I feel like I have been to 30 something different countries. I was with someone recently where they were talking about Hong Kong. I said, I've never been. And they were like, oh, really? I would have thought you would have been to Hong Kong. And I was thinking to myself, do you know what? I can't name many people that have actually been to Hong Kong. And I feel like incredibly grateful for the opportunities that I've been given, the places that I've been. And I feel like, don't get me wrong, I feel like I have worked for it. I mean, I was the naughtiest kid in school. I was not an educational person whatsoever. Academic stuff is not my forte. I'm still not great at spreadsheets and things to this day. But I feel like I had teachers that were telling me I was either going to end up dead or in prison. And now I'm like flying all around the world and like running like amazing events for amazing clients. I think really like taking a stop and thinking, obviously like those names I just dropped. Like I've worked with Michelle Obama. There's a picture of me and Will.i.am in my kitchen. Like all my friends have to see that all the time. I mean, I'm unbearable when I tell stories.
Is the picture in your kitchen, or was Will.i.am in your kitchen?
It was the picture was actually around the corner outside me, London, in front of a skip because we were still in our building phase. For another little name drop, fantastic event I looked after was for the Eva Longoria Noble Gift Gala.
Amazing.
So I went to pick her up from the airport. Was hanging out with Mel B while she was being moisturised in a hotel room. You can't wait for my autobiography. Trust me.
I was going to say, a lot of these sentences sound so bizarre. You're like, yeah, you know, Mel B was getting moisturised. You're like, what?
Yeah, that's the PG version, to be honest.
His story is sounding very scary.
Yeah, as I
Spice.
say, wait for the autobiography. and that's the thing. That's when I joke about autobiography. I actually have started to write stuff down in case I do start to forget some of the like the number of countries I've been to, the places that I've been. And that's what I mean by sort of like just taking stock and I'm really being appreciative of that. And I think like from a next gen perspective, like they need to really like think about these experiences and what they have to look forward to.
I do think that was one of the great things about COVID, in that like 2019 was probably my highest travel year. Like I went to a ridiculous amount of countries, like back to back. I was super busy. I was flying all over the place, and I loved it at the time. You know, I was present when I was there, but then I don't think I retained it as much, or I didn't have a chance to retain it until COVID said, you're not going anywhere. And I was alone in my flat, and then I'm going through my camera roll and be like, oh my God, I forgot about that.
Well, that's the thing. The camera roll is your friend, right? And I also think it increase in the sort of the pleasure element of this as well. I think one thing I wish I'd done when I was younger, when I was going to these places, is adding on some time to actually have some shoulder nights and go and experience it. Like I said, Tokyo, I feel like I've seen about an eighth of what Tokyo has to offer, and that's a shame because I can't think of a trip I'm going to go back. I mean, to your point, actually, in 2019, I was doing loads of regular travel, but it was pretty much always to the US. And actually, since I've joined Opus and since like the world sort of opened up again, I'm seeing more of the world. I mean, I ticked off 6 continents. I've been to Sydney now, which is incredible. But again, for like a 4-day, who goes to Sydney for 4 days?
Yeah.
But there was just calendars just didn't align for me to go any longer. But I mean, I went to Singapore 4 times last year. Like, yeah, the world is opening up again. That's what I'm really excited about. But again, remembering that there are other people that don't have these experiences. So appreciating what we do have, and hopefully taking a friend or something along the way. Like that's what I mean by the pleasure element, like increasing our exposure to these places, which can only help our education for the future, rather than rinse and repeating the same thing for a client. If you return somewhere, you've experienced it, go and see it, done.
Yeah, I really like that. I think the idea of spending more time in the destinations, bringing friends and family, you know, to them, and just stretching it out a little bit and taking stock and digesting it. I think, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my nephews are going to Florida next week to Disney, and like when they're coming to ask me questions about Orlando and stuff, like that's awesome. That's so I feel like how I can now help my nephews with like experience. I've been to Disney, I've been to Universal. Like, I can help them plan their days. They're not going to waste any time, waste any money, but that is all thanks to this industry.
Yeah. So the final part of the podcast is a quick fire round.
Oh wow, okay.
So
Like on Friends, I've got it's like just.
it's like yes, exactly like
Perfect.
that. Packing last minute or week before.
Last minute.
Carry on or check in.
Depends where I'm going. If it's more than 3 days, it's being checked in.
Okay. See, I will cram and cram and cram. Like I think I've done 2 weeks before, and
I just hate the fact that I've got like 300 little packs of toothpaste. I just rather. Honestly, I've literally got a cupboard full of miniatures, and I'm all about sustainability. So
That's true. That's fair.
I'm not all about waiting an hour and a half at Heathrow, however. So I do have to weigh those checks and balances.
Airport lounge or shopping?
Airport lounge.
Aisle or window?
aisle because I get up 45 times just to stretch my legs. Again, ADHD brain. I don't have IBS. I have a real thing about getting up, stretching legs. It's just good for the bloodstream.
It's not IBS, it's a different acronym. You just running up and down the aisle like, whoop, 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 whoop.
And I feel like I need to do something at times as well. So I go and change clothes. I'll have like a tracksuit. I'll have some shorts. I might change again so people don't think that I've got a problem.
Such a diva. You just want to just use it as a catwalk.
Yeah.
Don't
Although
you?
when I say aisle, I do normally like to try and travel in business when I can. So
True. City or nature?
city.
Lay in or early start?
Depends on the day of the week. And if I've been out the night before. So I'm an early starter for work for sure. I think my team hate the fact that they'll get emails at weird and wonderful times. But then, weekends definitely a line kind of guy.
Nice. Poolside or seaside?
Paul, hate being wet with sand. Just like, who chose that? I also think I've got PTSD from being a kid, sort of having like a ham and sand sandwich, just from like when just like that feeling that crunch when you're at a picnic. Sorry, mum, but it wasn't a memory I was keen on. And also, just like, how do you get back to the car or wherever you're going without having like? It's just, yeah.
I actually saw a life hack. Honestly, this is a game changer. I saw a reel the other day and it was showing all the ways to avoid sand on the beach. And it was like porn to me. And she filled a plastic bag with seawater, then rolled it up, put it on the beach, had her flip-flops there, and then like put her feet in the plastic bag and then stepped into her flip-flops. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do that.
Or you could just stay by the pool and have none of those problems.
All that. Planned or spontaneous?
Spontaneous.
I could have guessed that. Breakfast, hot or cold?
Hot, yeah, fully. Well, both actually. I ate a lot, Callum. This morning I was up early. I was round the corner at Greg's. I had a cold breakfast. Then I came here and had a full English. So I think
Just everything.
Yeah, both. Yeah.
Fair. And finally, hotel, room service or restaurant?
Restaurant. I'm not a massive fan of sitting in my hotel room at all, to be honest. Like I'm a get out and go. Again, ADHD brain. I'm out and exploring. Sleeping in my hotel room. That's why, to be honest, like when I talk about like bougie taste, I stay in some really nice hotels. Again, being very lucky with our work. But when I stayed on in Rio, I was more than happy in a cheap and cheerful hotel because if I'm in that room when I'm in Rio, I'm missing out.
Yeah, 100%. Well, thank you so much for
having
taking
me.
the time to sit on the podcast and also for being part of the Flock community.
No, thank you for having me.